So as we find our mat this morning, again, rolling up a towel or a blanket or an extra bolster to place across your mat so that it hits the upper thoracic, gives us a nice lift there, using a block to support behind your head so that you're not cranking through your neck. The knees are bent, the feet will be hip distance apart. As you bring yourself down, get yourself situated, close down your eyes. And not only beginning our practice, but for some of us, particularly in the West, beginning our day. And here we begin our day on this beautiful mat, this place of security and safety. I always think of it as my own private oasis that I can always come back to sit, to meditate, and to breathe. And it never fails. You step off your mat and greet the day, and you're so much better for it. So see if you can block out the external this morning. Maybe a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. Dropping those shoulder tips back, maybe squeezing in those shoulder blades just a bit to help you. Tucking the chin into the throat. Softening the face. Noticing any clenching that you might have in the glutes. And just let yourself fully arrive. Bringing our awareness to our breath. And without changing, we're not going to deepen it. This is going to be a core practice that we just want to use fluid breath here. So just notice your breath and notice whether it's shallow breathing, whether it's rapid breathing, and see if you can just let the inhales and the exhales fill the body, raise the palms, and the exhales just simply drop you deeper into your practice and your mat. We'll take 5 breaths here as we settle in. And blinking the eyes open here, we'll take that little scan. Again, mainly to see if the towel or the bolster is a little too high. I'm going to set my block down just one more level, but I'm still going to use it. Placing the heels of my hands right at my hip crease, my fingers pointing up towards my knee, drawing in my belly, just scooping it under those ribs, taking a nice full deep breath in. And as I exhale, sliding my palms up towards my knees as I lift my shoulders and head off of the mat. And then gently sliding back. So we'll take 5 in total, stopping if you need to readjust the height of whatever you're using underneath the shoulders. Keeping the belly in to support that spine and keeping the breath flowing nice and easy. And as you finish those 5, if there is anything behind the head, maybe now you remove it and let the back of the head come down to the mat. Extend the arms wide, right out of the shoulder socket, palms down, fingers pressing away from each other. And again, just to test how the height of your thoracic stretch is, you should be able to breathe. You should feel a lift in through the upper spine, but it shouldn't be anything that would constrict your breath. Bringing the hands, interlacing them behind the head, right at the curvature of the skull. Lifting the elbows up to the ceiling, and remember the cue that not to look at your device. Keep your gaze on the ceiling or your knees and move slowly with your breath. So big inhale. bellies in. On your exhale, release the air and come up halfway. Inhale, we'll bring those elbows towards the knees. Coming back down halfway, we'll exhale all the air out as we come down. Let's take 5. Inhale to half. Exhale to curl in. Come back on the inhale halfway. And on the exhale, release down. So we're not pulling on our head. Inhale half. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, come back halfway. And exhale, release it down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. In. So as you draw those elbows towards the knees, you're actually shortening that distance between the hip bone. Come back down halfway and down, and that floating rib. As you come down, open up the elbows, pause here, feel the spaciousness across the collarbone, the pecs, and the biceps. So if that was good for you, that's where you're going to stay. I am going to bring my legs into tabletop. My feet are flexed. So we're going to do the exact same. We're going to inhale, elbows up, inhale up, curl in, come back down, and release. Now you can keep the elbows just in one direction, or if you want to follow me, we'll inhale halfway, we'll exhale, and we'll turn elbow to the knee, doesn't matter which one. Come back halfway and lower. Inhale up, exhale, twist. Inhale back halfway and release. 3 more on your own. Up, breath out, breathe in and down. Up and twist, back and down. Up, twist, back and down. Up, twist, back and down. Finish up your set on whatever side you started. And then come back all the way down, drop the feet to that bridge position and let the elbows fall open to the side. Nice big breath. And then we'll roll to one side. We'll remove that bolster from behind the shoulders, just set it off to the side. We're going to use it under the sacrum, but come down onto your back body. Take a full body stretch here. So maybe you feel the upper sternum muscles that we just worked. Send those fingers away from the toes. Draw the knees into the chest. Squeeze in. Let the hips, that tailbone rock up with you. And maybe take a side-to-side massage. And then replanting the feet back into the bridge position. So thighs are parallel, feet are parallel. Bring the hands down beside the body, palms down, lifting the hips on the inhale, press into your feet, lift the hips and find your bridge. So as you find your bridge, the hips come up, the knees slide away from you. So you've got this nice slope from the knees, the hips to the shoulders. The weight is along the shoulders. So it is not in the neck and it's not behind the head. So just pause here. See if you can relax through the glutes a little bit. Press into the feet, maybe lift a little bit higher, getting a nice little back bend, spine strengthener here. And then reach for your towel or bolster, whatever you're using, and we'll just place that right underneath the sacrum, and we'll slowly lower the hips back down so that the bolster or whatever you're using is lying right on that nice flat edge of the sacrum. So it's not on the flesh of the buns, and it's certainly not in the low back. And this is going to help protect your back as we move into some stretches for the very low belly, the pelvis area. Good. So again, we're going to bring our legs to that tabletop position, flexing through the feet. Let's bring our arms to cactus again, just to get that nice opening. Squeeze the shoulder blades underneath you. Good. Tuck in that chin so you've got length in the neck. And then we're going to draw in that belly. Nice big inhale. And on the exhale, we're just going to heel tap. Right heel is going to come down, tap the mat. Squeeze it nice and slow, back up to center, and take it left. And back up. So on your own with your breath, inhaling to tap, exhaling to pull the knees slowly back up and back and forth. We'll take a total of 10. Keep the belly in. If you feel any of this in your low back, really, really tuck that belly in, and maybe don't come down as far. Maybe you don't have to tap the mat. Just enough. If you brought your fingertips right again to the inside of the hip crease, you can feel exactly what muscles that you're working. Breath is fluid. If I were to look at your faces now, I wouldn't see them all scrunched up, right? Faces relaxed. We're not holding our breath. We've lost the count, so why don't we do 3 more on each side? Again, mindful movements, not fast. Use that power to draw that knee up like it resistance. Good. And as you finish the last set, draw the knees back into the chest. Again, roll up that tailbone as it helps, supported by that towel or bolster. And then come back, and this time, just like a legs up the wall position, we're going to bring the legs straight up, the feet like they were pressing into the ceiling. This time I am going to bring my hands to my low belly because this is a little more intense and I want to feel what I feel here. So again, it's a heel tap, alternating. Deep breath in, draws the belly in, and the right heel descends. And then inhale, bring it all back up and take it left. Tap, belly's in nice and tight, alternating back and forth. Again, the same thing. If you begin to feel this in your back, just check number 1, that you're really engaging your core. And number 2, no need to come down as far. Noticing your breath. All right, let's do 2 more each side here. And following that again, hugging in the knees, rolling. You can feel that spine just curl up. And re-extend the legs last time. So here, as you re-extend the legs, we're going to drop both legs down at the same time. So 2 legs become 1, the feet are flexed, the toes are spread. Here, I only come down a third of the way. I don't have the core strength yet to come all the way down, and I don't want to take it in my back. So again, pay attention to your feelings, the sensations that you have, and then modify for your body this morning. As you're ready, full deep breath in, we gather in the belly, lower the legs any amount together. And on your exhale, bring them back up to that neutral. Inhale, we lower and get long. Exhale all the air out as you draw the legs back. Let's take 5. Draw the knees in, squeeze in, come back to that bridge position. Press into your feet when you're ready. Lift the hips up. Find your bridge again, just pausing there. Again, a nice back bend for the spine, a nice opening for the front body, and also for the hip flexors and some quad strength as well. And just slide again the blanket or the prop away from you, and you can curl yourself down like a string of pearls, or come down on a flat back. There's science to support both ways. Do what feels good to you. Heel toe the feet out to the edges of the mat. Let's just wash that out by windshield wiping the knees one way and the other. And look around for your block. Place it in your hands, heel toe the feet back to center, and stretch the body out nice and long. So the block is in the hands, and we will pass the block. So again, squeeze those shoulder blades underneath you to kind of relax through the shoulders. Good. Press the heels away from you to begin, taking in a nice big breath, draw the belly in. And as you exhale, lift so that the block goes to the feet, the shoulders and the head come off of the mat, and the legs don't come further than the hips. Slowly lower everything back down. Coming up, exhale all the air out, reach for that block. Again, watch that the legs aren't doing the work. We were reaching up for the block, and then we inhale and get long. Exhale, block into the feet, head and shoulders lift. Inhale, reach long, exhale. Let it go. Okay, 3 more. Okay, maybe the last one. Stretch it long. Taking the knees back into the chest, make whatever movement feels good for you on your back body. And then we'll gradually make our way to our tabletop position. So take some movement just to release what you need to release. And then make your way to all fours. A couple cat-cows when you get there. Spreading the hands wide. And again, as you press into those palms and let all the air out, round through the spine. And the inhale ought to feel good as you drop that belly and lift the heart and the tailbone, stretching out the whole front body. So just taking in a couple more. And then we'll make our way down onto our forearms forming the number 11. I like to interlace my hands at the center of my mat so that I can really press into my forearms as we begin to find that forearm plank. So the right foot steps back onto the ball of its foot, as does the left. Adjust your elbows so that they're right underneath your shoulders. Again, let those heels go back. Lift the chest like you could bring it between the biceps, and your gaze will be straight down at the hands, at the fist if you're using a fist. Drawing in your core, recheck your breath. So here it's easy to hold the breath. Big inhale in through the nose. And see if you can slow the exhale down out of the nose. Heels back. Tuck that belly in nice and tight. Here in our planks, we really use every muscle in the body to hold up our body weight. So it's a wonderful core, full body exercise. It isn't pleasant. I wished I could do something to make it more pleasant, but I can't. So take 3 more full breaths here. Last one. Drop down the knees, slide the belly down to the mat, unclasp the hands and stack the palms one on top of the other, untuck the toes. Rest the forehead on the back of the hands and really allow those elbows to go wide and up so that you can drop the soft tissue under the arms and the shoulders down. Let the chest relax. Let the belly be soft on your mat. And maybe just shake the hips side to side. just to relax the low back. And then slowly bringing yourself to stillness here. Taking the few next breaths to actually feel the ribs expand against your mat. And as you exhale all the air out, just feel the body here like it could just sink into the mat, into the earth. And as you begin your day, if you're leaving us, please turn your device off. Spend just a few moments here with yourself, with your practice. And may you have a beautiful day. Taking in a full deep breath if you're staying for the core and more. Release the breath slowly. Lift the head so that you can bring the hands outside your mat, untented fingers like spider hands here. Elbows are up, so the elbows are bent at a 90 degree. And we're just going to do some rolling cobras. And as we roll our cobra, we lift the ribs and the chest, then the shoulders, then the head. So it's a wave-like motion with breath. So as you're ready for your inhale, take the breath in, press into your fingertips, and slowly ribs lift, chest lifts, shoulders lift, final head lifts. Coming back down, we drop the belly, the ribs, the chest, and the forehead. 2 more on your own with breath. Big breath in. Roll it up. Head is last. And bring it down. Ribs, chest, forehead. Last one. We roll up. And we roll down. Pausing here. Releasing the hands out to a T, palms down. Let's slide the right knee out to the side, finding that half frog position. So the knee is right in line with the hip joint. The ankle is right in line with the knee, and that right foot is flexed. Good. As you arrive here, see if you can relax the pelvis, relax that top hip. And again, bring your fingers to that spider, elbows up. We're going to roll it up here for 3, just like we just did. Inhaling, ribs, chest, shoulders, and head. Returning to the mat, belly, ribs, chest, and forehead. 2 more. Nice. Keeping the right hand planted right outside the face, extend the left arm out to the side. So the left shoulder tip comes down to rest on your mat as you reach the fingers far and away. Take that right hand, press it down into the mat, and roll yourself over onto your side body. So right now, I am opening up the front of the left shoulder. And I'm going to take my right leg, which it can stay right in that half frog position. But if you press into your right hand, bring that right leg behind you and plant the foot behind the left leg, opening up through the whole pelvis, hip bone to hip bone. Pausing there to relax. Hand can stay placed right in front of you for balance. I'd like you to notice the opening into the left front shoulder. And if you want to deepen this and go into both shoulders, take that right hand up to the ceiling, bend the elbow, find a half bind here. So the back of the hand comes to the back body. We press the back of the hand into the back body gently and open up the right shoulder. And here we notice our breath, right? 3 nice fluid breaths. 2 for 1, opening up the hips, little bit of the inner thigh, opening up the front of the shoulders. 1 more breath. And we'll come out the same way. So release the bind and bring the hand back to that push-up position. Roll onto your belly. And this time extend that right leg to meet the left. Bring the forehead down, and we'll take the counter stretch here by bringing the left arm beside the body, bend the elbow, and bring the back of the left hand as high up towards the back of the heart so that you can just allow that left elbow to drop down, add some weight. And the counter stretch, we just release the left shoulder tip, let it fall down to the mat. 3 breaths. Great, releasing that. Let's send those arms back to a T. We'll slide that left leg out into that half frog position. Again, making sure we have a 90-degree at the hip, a 90-degree at the knee, and that left foot is flexed, a 90-degree in the ankle. Good. Pausing here, we'll bring our fingertips back off the mat, the elbows up. Let's roll through 3 cobras. As you're ready, drawing in the breath and rolling it up. And slowly returning. Twice more on your own. Full breath in to come up. All the breath goes to come down. Last one. Nice. So here we're going to take the left hand now right outside of our face. We're going to extend the right arm directly out of the shoulder socket so that we can allow that left shoulder to touch down onto the floor, onto our mat. And then we're going to press in through that left hand as we roll onto the side body. You can leave that left knee in that half frog, or if you did so on the other side, pulling that knee up and behind you, planting the foot. So again, different side, just notice where you're feeling this. I feel it in my glute, a little bit of a cramp there. I can modify by extending my foot closer to my other foot, or I can breathe through it. Sending that knee up towards the ceiling, again, finding space, hip bone to hip bone, and then bringing your awareness now to the inside of the right shoulder as you roll onto the side body, opening up, deep stretch into that shoulder. 3 nice big breaths here. Option to work both shoulders, so you can take that arm up to the ceiling, bend the elbow, bring the back of the hand to the back of the heart, press into that left hand so that you can really open up the chest, rotate open, and open up the upper shoulder joint. Again, notice the breath, 3 nice cleansing breaths. When you're ready to come out, releasing that bind, bringing that hand back to a push-up position right next to the face, rolling back onto your belly. And then we'll find that counter here by just sliding the right arm down beside the body, bend the elbow, and then draw the back of the hand to the back of the heart. Let that elbow fall off to the side so that the right shoulder falls in towards the mat. So a complete counter stretch here. Two more breaths. Slowly releasing that bind and bringing the hand back to a push-up position. Now tucking the toes under, both hands underneath the shoulders. Press your way up to a table and slide it all the way back. Knees together, child's pose. Keep the toes tucked and walk the fingers forward. So an active, extended child's pose, feeling the chest relax down, the hips towards the heels so that we begin to feel the stretch from the tailbone all the way up the spinal column through the shoulders to the fingers. Allow your body here to relax. We'll flip the palms so that the palms face up and just make a fist and curl that fist in towards your wrist. Then release that fist and open up the fingers wide like a starfish, and then make a fist. Working into the fingers and the wrist. Continue both ways. Maybe change up that fist by bringing the knuckles together like a fist bump, and then sending those knuckles away from each other towards the right and left side of your mat. So making whatever movement here feels good in your body. Releasing any pressure that we put onto those wrists. And then drawing those hands down beside the body. Maybe they hold on to the heels. Maybe the finger pads press into the arch and into the space we're creating with those toes tucked under. And just give yourself a nice little foot massage. And then finding stillness and just let those shoulders round in. So we've got all this space behind the heart. The chest is soft. Expanding through the shoulder blades, taking a deep breath there right behind the heart. And feel that opening. And release the breath nice and slow. Slide the hands again right underneath the shoulders. Press the torso off of the thighs, right? And then come onto the balls of your feet. Walk the fingers back. So the balls of the feet, the big toes are together, the knees are wide, and the back is nice and straight. And we're coming into this squat position. Just take a moment here. And then as you walk those fingertips back, bring the knees in together, and let's lift the hips up so we find a forward fold at the back of our mat. Forward fold, the knees bent as much as you need to. You can heel toe the feet, hip distance. That offers a little bit more stability for you. Let the head hang. Notice if you're trying to hold that head up by bringing any tension into the neck. Maybe shake the head around and just let the full weight of the head bring traction here from the tailbone all the way to the crown. Maybe we walk the hips right in line here. So it's only the upper body through the ribs that is moving. And then making your way back to center, we'll press into the feet, bend the knees, and slowly allow the body to roll up to stand. The head and shoulders, the last to arrive. Let the arms sweep out to the side. Let the arms sweep up above you. Maybe take that back bend and then bring the hands to the heart. So again, we soften the body, but we feel the power in the legs. We feel the power in our foundation. Inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace and bring the palms way up to the ceiling. Good. So stretching now, like you could stretch from your hip bone all the way through the wrist. Take a lateral bend to the right. So bringing the arms over to the right. Opening up the chest. Taking in a full breath into the left ribs. And a slow exhale to find a little bit of ease here. Inhale, we'll take it right back up. Again, press the palms up, find all the length, and then take it over to the left. This time opening up the right side body. Inhale back to center. Again, find all that length. Right, one more time. Take in a breath, then release the clasp. Hug the elbows, so hands onto the elbows. Tuck the head back into that nice box and let the weight of the elbows here deepen the stretch. Take a moment to notice whether you've locked your knees. You want to feel the power in your feet, but you want a little bit of buoyancy in the legs here. One more full breath. Inhale, come back up. Re-extend the arms back. Take it over to the left one last time. Again, release the clasp, cup the elbows, deepen the stretch. Don't collapse into the chest. Big breath in and out. And then inhale, lift the arms up, find the length. And nice and slow, the arms are going to come out to the side and swing behind you. We'll interlace there. Take the fist down towards your mat and then away from your body. Again, a nice stretch through the collarbone and through the shoulders. And from here, we'll bend into the knees. We'll bring the belly to the thighs. Again, the chest and the head are still up. Once the belly hits the thighs, the arms head towards the ceiling, the shoulders and the head come down towards the mat. And just let those arms float open wherever your body takes them. Head again is simply hanging. Nothing to do here, nothing to hold up. One more breath, fist up to the ceiling, then let them float overhead. Then we'll slowly release the clasp, let the arms dangle back down. So everything's just dangling on the mat. And then walk yourself out to a downward facing dog. And in your dog, again, the feet are hip distance. You press into those palms like you could press your mat away from you, getting the weight out of the wrist. Then lift the hips and send them back. And maybe alternate pedaling out the feet, waking up those hammies, waking up the calves, the Achilles, and as you come up onto the balls of the feet, even bringing some movement into the toe joints. Keep the left heel up. Press into your palms, press your hands away from your body. Let your head hang. Switch it out. Left heel to the mat, right heel up. Again, press those hands away from you. Lift those hips, tuck your belly. Let your head fall. Now come up onto the balls of the feet, and both heels are going to sink down towards your mat. Maybe the legs straighten just a bit. Again, pressing the hands away from you. Release the pressure in the wrists. Nice full deep breath. And then we're going to come up high on the balls of the feet. Bend the knees, look at your thumbs, and step yourself up to the top of the mat. Finding your forward fold. Finding your half lift. So the hands may come to the shins. Squeeze the shoulder blades back behind you. Gaze straight down as you draw in your belly and straighten your spine. Then release and fold. Twice more, find that L shape. Again, activating the back of the legs. These can be bent as much as you need. Just see if you can stick your tailbone one direction, crown of the head the other. Release and fold. Last time, halfway lift. Shoulder tips back. Squeeze the belly in, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep the neck right in line with the spine. And then let it go and fold. Press into your feet, bend your knees, roll your way all the way up to stand, arms out, arms up. Find the prayer, maybe a slight back bend, and prayer right to the heart. Closing down the eyes, lifting all 10 toes and spreading them wide, setting those toe pads down one at a time, and subtly shifting weight from the balls of the feet to the heels, heels to the balls of the feet. Maybe from the blade edge of the foot to the inner arch. Again, so subtle of a movement front to back and side to side that only you can feel on the inside. Somebody looking at you would never even notice the movement. And when you find your center, your equal distribution of weight, we'll flow some half sun cells here. So maybe keep your eyes closed if that serves you. Inhale, reaching those arms out, reaching the arms up overhead, hands to prayer, prayer through heart center, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Let it go on the exhale. Rise up, reach out, reach up. Hands find prayer, maybe the arch in the spine, and then draw it right back down to your fold. Head heavy. Half lift on the in-breath. Exhale fully as you fold deeper. And press into the feet to rise up, reach up. Take 2 more on your own, maybe that back bend. Now flow with your breath and your body. As you finish, we'll meet in that prayer Tadasana. We'll add in a little bit of a lunge sequence here. Just bring your breath back to a nice fluid inhale and an exhale. Blinking the eyes open now. Inhale, reach the arms out, reach the arms up. This time we're going to swan dive forward. So the arms go side to side, straight spine, just like that half lift. Drop the fingertips down. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold it down. Plant the hands, use a block or your fingertips, and step the left foot back. Widen the distance between your feet. Runner's lunge. Front knee over the ankle, back heel is up. Draw in the belly, press into your fingertips. Lift the heart forward here. Find your breath. On your next inhale, plant the left hand inside that right foot. We're going to take a twist here. So right arm extends to the side and up, stacking through the shoulders, reaching through those fingers. Then take the half bind here. So again, bring the back of the hand to the spine, to the sacrum, or even to the side waist. Press in. Make sure that front knee isn't flaying out to the side, and open up. Rotate the chest here. Notice your breath. Good. Release the bind, restack the arms one on top of the other. Then circle the top hand down by your hips and around to frame the front foot. Bounce off the back foot to come back into your fold, into your half lift, and back to your fold. Plant the hands. Let's send the right foot back behind you. Give yourself some space. So heel toe the foot, the left foot over towards the edge of the mat. Good. Knee over the ankle, back heel is up. Press into your fingertips, lift your chest, tuck in your belly. Nice long stance. Press that back heel away from you, keeping the front knee right over the ankle. 2 breaths. Twisting on the other side, we're going to plant the right hand now down flat on our mat as the left arm goes out to the side and goes towards the ceiling. Again, idea is to stack through the shoulders. If this is tight, just bring your hand to your sacrum. You can get the same rotation. Good. Taking in a breath. And we'll bind this side. So bend the elbow, draw the arm around the body. Use that leverage to send that shoulder tip down and away and rotate the chest. Watch that that left knee isn't falling out to the side. Nice full breath. Release the bind, restack the arms. And then we'll circle that arm down again towards the hip, down and around, inside the left foot this time. Straighten through that left leg and walk yourself to the long edge of your mat. So we're going to pigeon toe the feet. See if you can widen your stance just a bit. And then taking the fingertips, the hips are going to stay right back in line with the legs. And we're just going to walk the hands forward. So that heart melting pose in a wide angle here. So reaching those fingertips. Notice again if you're trying to hold up the head. Relax the neck. Draw in the belly. Notice your breath. Maybe crawl those fingertips a little further forward. Then walk them back. And when they get underneath your shoulders, flip them around so that the fingers are now facing behind you, and walk the fingertips as far back as you can, dropping the crown of the head down to the mat. Belly's in. Again, see if there's any more room to crawl those fingertips back. And then we'll slide them back underneath the shoulders, right hand to right ankle, left to left. Again, grabbing on and using that to help draw the torso down. Releasing the ankles, hands right underneath the shoulders, working into the inner thighs just for a second here. Bend into that right leg, any amount, till you feel the sensation on the inner thigh on the left. Press back up to center and take it right. Again, just to the point of sensation. And just setting back and forth here. Belly's drawn in, shoulders are just hanging out here. It's all in the inner thighs, outer hip. Finishing up, whatever side you're on, come back to neutral. Taking in a full breath. Bend into the knees, bring the hands to the waist with a straight spine. Draw yourself all the way up. Take that left foot, pivot it to the top of your mat. Take a bend into that left knee. The pelvis and the chest are still facing the long edge of your mat as we work into Warrior Two. So before we bring in the upper body, just takes a moment here, find some buoyancy by coming in and out of this just a bit. Again, opening up through the groin and the inner thighs. And then we'll find stillness with the legs. So gaze down, the knee is in line with that second toe. Sink the pelvis down. Notice that your hip bones and your shoulder tips are right above each other, facing out. And then simply draw the arms out. So reach through the fingers, maybe gaze over the left fingertips. See if you can sink a little bit further. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Take the right hand. We're going to work back into that half bind. Notice the theme today. Reach through the left fingers. Good. As you draw the breath in, send that arm up towards the ceiling And then take a nice side stretch here. Reverse warrior. Keep the bind on the right side. Take the left arm back up. Bring the forearm to the thigh. Finding again, side angle. So we're resting lightly on the thigh. Again, opening through the hips, opening through the chest. Taking in a breath. Then straighten through that front leg. Slide the left hand down the shin to a block. Any place that's comfortable. Again, rotate the chest open. One more breath. Then rebend into that front knee. Find your warrior two again. Sink it down. Hands to the waist. Pivot it around. So left foot comes more or less parallel. Right foot to the top of the mat. Same thing. Let's set the legs first. So bending into the right knee. Again, make sure it's not collapsing in. And then just take a moment. Again, some buoyancy to open up through those hips, inner thighs. Watching to see, again, that we're not leaning one way or the other. We're stacking the shoulders right over the hips. And then we'll find our stillness here, bending into the leg, lifting the arms, gazing over the right fingers. 2 full breaths. Taking that bind here, reaching that hand as far over towards the side body as you can. Sink into the legs, flip the palm and reverse here. Arm up to the ceiling and take that little bit of a side stretch. Coming down to side angle. Forearm rests lightly on the thigh. Again, use your bind here. Rotate the upper body. Sink lower into your side angle. Noticing your breath. And then we'll begin to straighten the right leg as we slide the hand either to a block or the shin. Again, reestablish that half bind and maybe gaze over the left shoulder or straight down at the foot if that's better on your neck. 3 breaths. Nice, coming out nice and slow. Rebending into the knee. Allow the arms to float out. Find your warrior two one last time. And then hands to the waist or the hip crease. Pivot the feet in, heel toe, so that they're a little more than hip distance apart this time. Toes are out, heels are slightly in. Take a seat. So a squat can be just like this. The more you sink the pelvis, again, please try and keep the spine straight wherever you are. Sinking as you become a little more, I'm not going to use the word comfortable, but more at ease. Maybe you sit up on a block or that bolster. Maybe you sink the pelvis, elbows inside the knees, thumbs to the heart, closing down your eyes. One of the best postures we have in our yoga toolbox. And again, a squat, we'll do happy baby on our back. That's the same thing as a squat without the body weight. So don't get discouraged if you can't find your full malasana. Keeping yourself elevated, resting on a block or a prop, or coming onto your back body, it still opens up the hips, and it's so good for all of our digestive organs and body elimination. So take one more breath. And then we'll release this. Bring the hands behind you, lower your seat down. And again, if you're more elevated, just make your way down onto your mat. Centering yourself, hands behind the knee crease, tuck that chin in, begin to round through the spine as you make your way onto the back body and draw the knees into the chest. Maybe rock side to side. If you didn't find your full squat, send those knees right and left, reach the arms in between to reach for the outer edge of the foot, the big toe, lift the soles of the feet to the sky, and then press the knees down beside the body. Now, if you can't reach for your feet, just use your forearms behind the knee crease and grab onto your wrist and draw the knees down that way. Full breath. And then holding on to the feet or the ankles, wherever you have, begin to straighten the legs. The feet are over the head. So again, we're like in a forward fold, right? But on our back. Knees don't have to come all the way straight. Just feel the sensation. Then bring the big toe mounds together, the balls of the feet together. Lower those feet now towards the hips. Release them so that the feet land on the mat, on the blade edge. The knees are wide. We find our Supta Baddha Konasana, cobbler pose. Support underneath the thighs with blocks or blankets or pillows if it's too much to allow the legs to just fall where they want to fall. A hand to the belly, a hand to the heart. Again, a lift through the chest so you can squeeze those shoulder blades under. A lift of the head so you can tuck the chin into the throat. More length in the back of the neck. And then feel into your breath. The palms rise with the inhale. And they fall with the exhale. And here, coming into that rhythmic breath, the breath we know we use in meditation and deep sleep. Inhales, maybe to the count of 3, but we want to double the length of the exhale. So I breathe in for the count of 3, and I release to the count of 6. In for 3. Release and relax for 6. And you continue with whatever breath pattern works for you. Particularly noticing the exhales, what it does to. But let's bring our hands to prayer at heart center. Bow our head to our heart. May we find peace and grace this holiday season. May we celebrate. See, I get so choked up. The true Christmas spirit. Setting aside the need to bring presents. May you find the real joy of presents in your family and friends, not under the tree. May we be mindful and compassionate to remember those who may not feel the jubilance of the season due to health or a loss. And may we embrace this time and embrace each other with as much grace and love that we have inside. Namaste.